We need a whole collection of guys to do well. We don't want to just rely on the core guys, the famous guys that everybody knows, because our team is really deep. And it's being tested right now with the injuries that we've had and maybe a little bit of performance issues that we've had. But we keep winning series, we'll be all right.
As AJ said, the depth has been tested lately, and the Astros have been receiving all A's as they continue to lead the AL West. They had a couple of 15-hit games in Seattle to win that series, and here last night, scored 14 runs in a shutout. The A's continue to keep pace 5 games back, and Seattle 7.5 back in the American League West as we welcome you to LA for the Dodgers and Astros finale to this 3-game series. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, Astros going for a sweep, and more importantly, no Carlos Correa, no Jose Altuve, and AJ's right, some other guys have had to step up.
Yeah, the superstars go down, and then you start to see guys that I like, guys that I can relate to, some of those boys off the bench that are role players. They know the situation when they come in, but they've been stepping up recently.
In our HEB, no players do more. There's been a few guys who have really made a step.
They really have. Josh Reddick is a mainstay in that lineup, but he is one of the lesser guys as far as his superstar status, but he still goes out there and does a good job, and I think he's recognizing the opportunity also in those last 4 games driving the baseball. This guy right here, Marwin, last year, 90 RBIs, is a guy that they want a little more consistency out of. He may not get to that 90 RBI plateau, but he's going to have plenty of opportunities to get RBIs down the stretch. And, of course, everybody's favorite, Jake Marisnick. Jake from Rake Farm last night went deep, but 4 for his last 8 in those last 4 games since his recall.
After a 5-game losing streak, their longest of the season, now the Astros looking for a 5-game winning streak and a sweep of the Dodgers. We will have more from Dodger Stadium in LA after this. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Arctic. Overbuilt, not overpriced. Garrett Cole, who pitched his collegiate baseball not far from here, gets the start today against the Dodgers.
He has been extremely good, especially on the road. 190 batting average against is 4th in Major League Baseball. Also the 258 ERA on the road is quite good, too. We've seen him adjust in Colorado. We've seen him adjust to the Seattle Mariners. He has a very good fastball in the mid to upper 90s. His strikeout rate is 12.4 per 9 innings this season. The previous high was 9 back in 2014.
You like right-handers that throw hard, you're in for a treat today. Garrett Cole against Walker Buehler as we get ready for baseball on a Sunday.
Astros hoping to keep the good times rolling here in Los Angeles, winning their last 3, dating back to Game 7 of the World Series. And as contagious as Josh Reddick said the at-bats were last night, the good at-bats, he hopes that catches on today as they do go for the 3-game sweep. They had good at-bats early yesterday. They continue to put pressure on the Dodgers, ended up putting 2 touchdowns on the first-place team, and they're feeling good going into today. Now, they have to defeat Walker Buehler today, and I'm told in order to get to him, these Astros have to be ready to hit from pitch number 1 of the game, and you know George Springer will be ready. But Buehler likes to pitch up, and he likes to establish that fastball early, throws a lot of strikes. So if they can get to him today, they are in good position to put up damage and help out their starter, Garrett Cole, today. The Astros have felt really good about the way they've been playing ball here, winning a series against the Dodgers and a series against Seattle. They're beating really good teams, and they hope to continue that through the rest of the season because it is a really nice trend. It'll also get them ready for the postseason. But if you take a look at what they've done against teams who are 545 or better this season, 26-19, the run differential is just silly with 79 runs over there. Only the Yankees are better in that category. Good stuff for the Houston Astros as they go for the sweep, TK.
Yeah, and you notice the Astros have played the most games against teams of that ilk of 545 or better, so that is also a good preparation heading into the postseason. Here's our Astros starting lineup today, presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer at the top, as Julia mentioned, followed by Josh Reddick and Alex Bregman. Marwin Gonzalez slots up to the cleanup spot. No Yuli Gurriel in the lineup. Tyler White at first base, J.D. Davis at third. Max Stassi behind the plate, and Tony Kemp in left with Garrett Cole getting a chance to hit.
And we found Mr. Buehler. He's on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Walker in 13 games. He has 12 starts, 4-4 record, 69 innings, 71 strikeouts, and the opponent batting average at .228. Julia is correct in the fact that he has a very good fastball, averaging close to 96 miles an hour with that pitch. Secondary pitches are the slider and curveball, and possible changeup mixed in there.
Sam Holbrook, the crew chief, behind home plate today, and he is making sure we start this game not too early for the 1:10 Pacific time start, and we're ready for baseball as the 24-year-old Walker Buehler, who just turned 24 last Saturday, will face the Astros For the first time in his young career, it's George Springer swings the first pitch, straightaway center field. This ball is tagged, and this ball's gone! World Series MVP, George Springer, returning to Dodger Stadium on the first pitch of the game. Hits his 24th career leadoff home run.
Well, I think Julia called this shot. Maybe we should let her call the highlight.
Right fielder number 22, Josh Reddick.
Don't waste any time, George. What a lightning bolt at the top of the lineup for A.J. Hinch.
On the heels of a 14-0 whitewashing, the worst home shutout loss for the Dodgers since all the way back in their Ebbett Field days. George Springer starts off on the first pitch and goes out deep to center field. Here's Josh Reddick. He hit a 3-run home run in last night's game. On the second pitch of his at-bat, he grounds one to short. Chris Taylor makes the play. And there's one away.
Gosh, that ball was crushed.
Shortstop number 2, Alex Bregman.
Astros 14-0 shutout defeat of the Dodgers. Last time they lost that bat at home, they were the Brooklyn Robins back at Ebbets Field in 1923. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman, as we have chronicled in the first couple of games, with a new hairstyle here in LA, still looking for that first hit in this Dodger series. He has reached base a couple of times, a hit by pitch game 1 and a walk game 2. Pitch rides inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Between Julia setting up Marwin Gonzalez with the solo home run last night to give the Astros a 1-0 lead, then a little hit she did right before the Josh Reddick double to left center field, and now the George Springer home run on the first pitch. She's having quite a series in LA.
So the last 2 baseballs put in play by the first 2 hitters in this ball game off Walker Buehler. 107.8, 103.4.
This one a little more pedestrian to third base, where Manny Machado is playing today.
There we go. We got George back on our Mattress Firm Supermo center cut fastball right down the middle, and he barrels it up and goes right out of center field with it. Stands up on it, and again, 452 feet away, and TK is always looking for that hit probability. That was 100% hit probability with that launch angle and exit velocity.
I think the hit probabilities on those bombs are a little more accurate this year.
Yeah.
The fact that it wasn't 100% on that one he hit at target field against the Twins.
Makes no, and it was about 20 feet shorter than this one.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin with 3 home runs in his last 3 games, hit one last night. He's done a nice job since the All-Star break with an OPS of .913 on base percentage plus slugging percentage. Well, both these teams have thunder at the top of their lineup. We saw it from the Dodgers' Jock Peterson in game 1 of this series as he hit a home run against Justin Verlander. That was his 5th leadoff home run of the season. And we saw it today with George Springer hitting home run number 6 as a leadoff man this year. It's kind of the new trend now. You put big boppers up near the top of the lineup, and there's no chance for a starter to ease into his outing as Marwin has a 1-2 count.
And that's one thing I think analytics has brought to the game that I do appreciate, putting those bumpers at the top of the lineup and those 1, 2, 3 hitters being your best 3 hitters, because we know it increases the opportunity to get more ABs.
Marwin takes down for a ball. It's 2-2. Astros trying to sweep this series against the Dodgers. The Dodgers came into this series the best team in the National League in run differential. But now that belongs to the Cubs after the 14-0 defeat in last night's game. Overall, the Astros taking over the best run differential in all of baseball. The Boston Red Sox held that for a day. A.J. Hinch's crew Now a plus 200 on the season in run differential. It's game number 113 of the year. Swing and a miss. Buehler able to get Marwin Gonzalez swinging on the slider.
But an electric start for the Astros. George Springer stepping on a fastball and launching it to center field. 1-0 Astros.
Left field, followed by Manny Machado playing third base. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Cody Bellinger is in center field today. Brian Dozier starts at second. Max Muncy at first. Chris Taylor moves to shortstop, and Kike Hernandez in right field with Walker Buehler batting ninth.
Power right-hander Garrett Cole on the mound for the Houston Astros in 22 starts, putting up ridiculous numbers. 141 and a third innings pitched. The batting average against him is 181. In those 141 and a third innings pitched, he's only given up 90 hits. He currently has 194 strikeouts. His career high for strikeouts in a season was 2015 with 202.
That's not going to last.
Hopefully not today.
Facing the Dodgers in his 23rd start of the season, he has faced LA 6 previous times in his career. 3 of them here at Dodger Stadium, 3 at his home ballpark in Pittsburgh as he misses way upstairs and away to Peterson on the first delivery. It's 1-0. Jock Peterson started game 1 of the series, now starting the series finale. Dave Roberts electing to rest his left-hand hitters in last night's game against Lance McCullers Jr. Update on Lance is that he is headed back to Houston to get that elbow looked at by Astros medical staff, so we should have some more news on Lance here in the upcoming days while the team's in San Francisco. (2-0) the count as Cole has missed the first 2 to Peterson, who is 4 for 7 with a couple of doubles against Garrett. And Cole's missed on the first 3. Cole pitched collegiately right down the road at UCLA. And on 4 pitches, he walks Jock Peterson to start this game.
Third baseman, number 8.
Adjustment period sometimes from the warm-up bullpen mound to the main stage, and Cole initially missing on the first 4 pitches today. Now face Manny Machado. Cole in 3 previous starts at Dodger Stadium, 2-1. But he's had some run support in those starts. He has a 5.60 ERA in those 3 starts here. There's a strike to Machado.
StatCast AI, powered by AWS, shows you the shift reason the Astros are out there. Again, heavy on the pull side for Manny Machado.
Tried to bunt the other way with the right side wide open. Tyler White holding the runner and no second baseman. Machado saw a base hit in his eyes if he could push one past Cole, but he bunts it foul. Machado in this series is 1 for 8. He has reached in 15 of the 16 games he's played as a Dodger. Garrett making his 3rd consecutive road start. Slices one the other way. Machado over at third base today. Justin Turner getting the day off. Nick Roberts has a lot of flexibility as he rotates guys around in his lineup. Seeing Chris Taylor bat in 3 different positions and play 3 different positions defensively in this series. DK Hernandez started at first base last night. He's in right field today. No Matt Kemp, no Yasiel Puig in the lineup this afternoon. Ball's hit hard to left field. Tony Kemp never saw it until it bounced right in front of him. Kemp put his arms out. And Blummer, you mentioned this in last night's broadcast about seeing the ball off the bat in day games here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, that's terrible. It's playable, but it's extremely tough. Whether you go with the sunglasses or no sunglasses, with the sunlight, the glare, some of the light-colored shirts, and that's a great view of it right there. It's going through shadows, it's going through the seats. But we've seen some of the newer ballparks in recent years really go to that dark green seat, a navy blue seat, and the reason is because it increases the opportunity for the fielder to see the ball off the bat.
A lot of the lower level seats aren't occupied early in this game, and that makes it even tougher with all those yellow seats down low. Here's Yasmani Grandal taking a called strike. I'm not sure if Kemp would have been able to make a play anyhow, but the fact that he never saw it off the bat gave him no chance. Grandal's been the Dodgers' hottest hitter really for a month plus now. Hitting .350 since July 1st. On base percentage during that stretch of .475 and slugging .738. He has been red hot with 8 home runs during that stretch. Down to the count here, 1-2. Popped up into shallow right field. Josh Reddick comes in. Puts it away for out number 1. Well, Cole gets Grandal for the first out in the bottom of the first. Now Garrett will face Cody Bellinger. Bellinger 3 for 16 on this homestand. He usually sees a lot of pitches in his plate appearance. Although this time he swings at the first one and pops it into shallow center. Springer shading the sun, and he puts it away for out number 2. Lot to deal with here on the line drives and fly balls.
Really feels that way, doesn't it? Fly balls, you know, you're on the road. You can, it usually takes one fly ball for you to figure out how to create an angle to get underneath the baseball and make a play. You can see George fighting it. But it's really disconcerting when you can't see the ball off the bat, because these guys are hitting the ball at high exit velocities these days, and you want to be able to react and make a play.
It is a cloudless sky.
Sun basically right above us. And we'll be moving, what, right to left, heading towards the coastline.
Brian Dozier, the batter. Not sure where that pitch missed. And that's what Garrett Cole wants to know as we take a look at the light blue sky here in LA.
Well, it's a 1-1 count. Both pitches well inside our MD Anderson strike zone. So valid question from Garrett Cole.
Check swing is 2-1. Well, early on, Cole with a walk and then Machado with a line single. A couple of fly ball outs, and he felt like he was ahead of Dozier 0-2. Instead, the count is now 2-1. Dozier 5 for 11 as a Dodger, and there's a nice pitch for a strike. It's 2-2. Count goes full on Dozier with 2 outs in the bottom half of the first inning. That means Peterson on second, Machado on first. We'll get a head start. Into center field, Springer on the move, diving attempt, and he can't make the play. Coming in to score is Peterson. Machado being waved around and the throw gets loose. Astros would have had a play. Instead, Machado scores and it's 2-1.
Dozier's done a lot of his damage in his career after that All-Star break. A very good second half player, and he's been a nice addition to the Dodgers here recently. A couple of homers, now a big double in this series against the Astros. George tried his best to make that play again, laying out for it, making a phenomenal effort. Had it in the glove, and again the impact with the ground, knocking that baseball out. And the throw short, hopping Alex Bregman on the relay is what allowed Manny Machado to come around and score a run also.
Surprised they were sending Machado because the ball was right there on Bregman. But when Bregman couldn't handle it, it allowed Machado to score easily. Dodgers snapping a 17-inning scoreless streak in this series. They had scored in the first inning of Game 1. And were shut out the other 8 innings that night and all 9 last night. Max Muncy bats with a count of 1-1. Garrett Cole's had to work here in the first inning. He's up to 22 pitches. Those are now 6 for 12 as a Dodger with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. Three and 1. Barrett battling the command a little bit early on. 12 pitches out of the zone, 12 pitches in the zone. Once he fouls a 3-1 pitch away, the count goes full.
And he hasn't been missing wildly, just off the edges. But at the same time, in his career, 6 games started against the Los Angeles Dodgers in a 5.55 ERA. So he has had his issues against this Dodger baseball team.
He's allowed at least 3 runs in all 6 of those starts. Dodgers on the board with 2 in the bottom of the first after a Springer home run in the top of the first. Muncy foul tip caught by Stassi. That'll do it for LA, but they scored 2 and lead it 2-1.
Carlos Correa last night went 1 for 3 in this home run to center field. In his first at-bat, went 445 feet. So while he's on that rehab assignment, he's down there bruising some egos. But it's good to see him getting right. And again, it's all about that recovery. If he feels good the next day, that increases the chances of him getting here sooner.
Yeah, it'll be good to see Correa back in this lineup. We mentioned right before the game, this lineup has been resilient without Correa and Altuve. In the midst of a 4-game winning streak on this road trip, as Tyler White will lead things off. Walker Buehler, after giving up a first pitch home run, now working with a lead as we start the second. Able to drop in that breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. The first pitch curveball is something he seems to drop in more here at home than he does on the road. His home numbers are much better. There's Dozier fighting the sun, and he puts it away for out number 1 on the pop-up by Tyler White.
Pitch usage for Walker Buehler.
Baseman number 28, J.D.
60% fastball, 21% slider, 14% curveball. And we talked about the occasional changeup that he will mix in there. Some pretty good numbers against that curveball with a 160 batting average against.
The slider last year a lot less than the curveball, 1/3 of the time, but the slider's become a main pitch for him. There is the sliders. He starts off J.D. Davis with a strike. J.D. batting .200 to start this game. 15 for 75 overall. Walker Buehler with a home ERA of 2.70 compared to 5.26 on the road. Part of the Dodgers' 12th, make that 13th no-hitter since they've moved to LA. And the 12th overall combined no-hitter in Major League Baseball history, as he started a game in Mexico against the Padres on May the 4th and combined with 3 relievers to throw a no-hitter. He went 6 of those innings, walked 3 and struck out 8. It's in on the hands of JD. It's 2-2. Astros winning the opener Friday night behind Justin Verlander 2-1. Last night, an offensive show, especially beginning in the 6th inning of a 1-0 game at that point, with a 14-0 win.
I'm going to give the bullpen a little bit of credit too for picking up for Lance McCullers coming out early with that injury, maintaining that shutout.
Bullpen covered 5 innings last night. Brad Peacock got the win out of the bullpen with 2 perfect innings. Five different relievers used in last night's game for A.J. Hinch. Davis goes down swinging. Buehler has 2 strikeouts.
Join the Astros Saturday, September 29th for the annual Badges and Bases H-Town Rundown presented by Chenier. This family-friendly 5K and 10K benefits the Astros Foundation and the Houston Police Department. To register, visit astros.com/run.
2 outs, bases empty. Here is Max Stassi. Stassi takes a called strike. Max with a 4 for 10 mark in his last 3 games, a 3-game hitting streak, has that average sitting at 250 as we start today. Towards first base, slowly hit, fielded there by Muncy. He will take it himself, and Buehler has retired 6 in a row since the leadoff home run by Springer.
poll. It's on Twitter. You can find us at ATT Sportsnet SW. Which Bregman signature look is your favorite? Is it the mustache or the Eminem Slim Shady blonde hair look that he's rocking right now? Or maybe it was the first day of the series when he had the two-tone look going.
So many options.
When they ran out of bleach. Got that taken care of. We'll let you know which one wins later in the broadcast, TK.
All right, Julia, we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Julia, do you have an opinion on that poll?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm just going to no comment that. But I'll take pictures of it.
You will. You'll post pictures.
I'll post for the fans.
You'll keep the fans updated on the latest Alex Bregman look.
Right. And I'll ask what's going on. I'll just be, I'm just going to stay out of that.
Chris Taylor leads off the bottom half of the second inning and sends one to right. Long run for Reddick towards the corner, and he slides, and this ball is foul. Josh enjoyed himself last night, hitting a 3-run home run in the stadium where he didn't have a whole lot of success as a Dodger, and heard it from their fans a little bit in this series. Also had a double and a single, 3-hit night with 3 RBIs.
You know what I call them? Revenge ABs.
There you go.
It's always nice to come into a visiting ballpark and do damage, but it's also nice to go back to some fans and prove to them that you still got some ability left, and there's plenty in the tank for Josh.
Chris Taylor in the opening game of this series batted 8th and played second base. Last night he batted first as the center fielder, and today he bats 7th as the shortstop. He goes down swinging. Garrett Cole has back-to-back strikeouts, 2 in the game, and 1 away here in the second.
Good curveball. Staying away, snapping that one down and in. Tough to have an answer for that when you're leaning out over the outside corner. The contact has been an issue for a couple of guys in this lineup. Bellinger, namely, and also for Taylor.
Taylor has struck out in 28% of his at-bats, 6th most in the big leagues. Here's Kike Hernandez. 1 out and the base is empty.
Does he love you?
Kike, does he love me?
Yeah, just asking.
Julia? Oh, wait. 0-2 the count.
I've been waiting all series to break that one out.
That's a good one.
Yep.
We also have Bueller on deck. Ball in the left center field, well tagged, and that ball will short hop the fence. Kike Hernandez with a 1-out double into the left center field gap.
Number 21, Walker Bueller.
Pretty good swing from Kike Hernandez going down to get that pitch. Settling underneath that left center field wall. 1 out, pitcher up, anticipate bunt. Walker Bueller will be trying to get this down to third base with just the runner at second base to pull that third baseman in and open up third base for the base runner.
Bueller only 1 sacrifice in his career in 25 at-bats, and he's swinging here with 1 out runner on second.
All right.
3 for 25. Did not have an at-bat last year when he appeared out of the Dodgers bullpen in 8 games. Called strike. It's 1-1. Three hits allowed by Cole. He's also walked a batter. Ground ball right side, does the same thing as a bunt. Arwin makes the play for out number 2. Hernandez moves to third with 2 away.
But it hurts your batting average. That's why you lay down the sacrifice bunt. But 2 outs. Runner at third base for Garrett.
Facing the top of the order, Jock Peterson, who walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Peterson first pitch swinging, fouls one back. 17 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Have a bunch of players up and down their lineup with high teens and home runs. Max Muncy leads them with 24. Manny Machado between the Orioles and the Dodgers has 26. Peterson has 17, Grandal has 19, Bellinger 18, Dozier 18, Hernandez 17. And the lowest total other than the pitcher in this game today is Chris Taylor with a dozen. So they can leave the yard 1 through 8 as well as any team in the National League.
They are second in slugging behind the they're 7th in slugging in Major League Baseball. They're second behind the Colorado Rockies in the National League.
Curveball drops just below the zone. It's 1-2. Stassi out to have a word with Garrett Cole. Garrett knows Peterson's been tough on him through his career. Ahead of the count, want to make sure you throw the exact pitch that you have a lot of conviction with. Stassi will head back. Max getting his only start of the series today. Maldonado catching Friday and Saturday night. Peterson tries to hold up. He does. 2-2. Popped high in the air, foul. Stassi trying to shield his eyes. Does he find it? Nope. Stassi had a tough time finding that baseball up in the blue skies here. By the time he found it, it was too late.
I've seen umpires, I've seen catchers catch with the sunglasses on, but I think immediately when Max turned around and took the mask off, he was staring right into the sun and had no chance to catch up to that one, unfortunately.
A lot of room behind home plate to cover as well. Stassi couldn't quite get back to the screen in time. On the ground, glove there by White. He will flip to Garrett Cole covering, and that'll do it for the Dodgers. A double, 1 man left on base. We head to the third in a 2-1 game.
We are done here in LA with the Dodgers, and we will head north into the Bay Area to take on the San Francisco Giants, or at least watch the Astros take on the San Francisco Giants on the 6th and 7th. Come home for a day off on Wednesday before the third-place Seattle Mariners come into town for a 4-game set through the weekend. A day off on Monday. Quick 2-game series with the Colorado Rockies, and then it's back on the road to the West Coast. This time going through the Bay Area, up to Seattle and down to LA to face the Anaheim Angels.
Yeah, 7 games in a 12-game span against Seattle. Critical juncture in their season right now, as they have dropped every game since that opening win against the Astros on this road trip. At that point, Mariners trailed the Astros by 3 games. They're now 7.5 back, and as Plummer mentioned, in 3rd place. Tony Kemp leads things off, number 8 hitter for the Astros, followed by Garrett Cole, and in the top of the order. Kemp down to the count 0-2 to Walker Buehler, who has really settled in after allowing a first pitch home run in this game to George Springer. He has retired 6 in a row since then. Buehler and Kemp know each other pretty well. They both attended Vanderbilt. And when Tony was a sophomore, Buehler came to Vanderbilt for a visit, and Kemp was his mentor, showing him around campus and telling him about how great it would be to be a Vanderbilt Commodore baseball player. Tony holds up.
School's produced some pretty good talent here in recent years.
Corbin doing a nice job with that program. They've had their share of major leaguers recently. Two and two the count. Strike out his collegiate buddy Tony Kemp for strikeout number 3 in the first out of the 3rd inning.
Pitcher number 45, Garrett Cole.
Look, Buehler's Twitter handle. At Buehler's day off. Ferris Bueller. They play the little riff here after the strikeouts.
It's only fitting that he's pitching for a Hollywood team, right?
Right. Dun, dun. Did Julia watch the movie yet? We got to find that out, because I know there was a moment last year.
Oh man,
where Ferris Bueller's Day Off hadn't really resonated in Julia Morales' life.
That caused some chaos last year when people found out I had never seen that movie. I think I misquoted the title. Didn't I mess up the Chevy Strohol last year?
Yeah.
I called it his day out.
Yep. Just going out for a stroll.
So a big shout out, a big thank you to the Astros fan who brought me a copy, a DVD version of the movie so I could watch it in the off season. I did watch it. It was great.
So you go, now you know.
Now I know. I get it.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Spending part of his day watching Cubs baseball at Wrigley Field.
Right, it all makes sense.
I'm not convinced.
I was just a few years behind.
What was your favorite part of the movie, Julia?
On
the
really?
spot.
You're going to put me on the spot?
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. This is so tough. The principal was mean. They took the dad's car.
Yeah, that car was beautiful.
Tried to roll the miles back.
It was a valiant effort.
I was going to say, give me a multiple choice quiz, and I
kicked
think
it
I'll
into the
pass
ravine.
it.
Well, we're proud of you for watching it.
Yes.
And again, thanks to the fans.
Yes.
Without the fans, I would have never seen it.
Springer hit a home run his first time up, and Buehler ahead of him here, 0-2. George with 24 career leadoff home runs, 6 this year, which is tied for the best in the major leagues and the most in the American League. Slices one the other way. Buehler. Walker Buehler spent about a month on the DL this year for the Dodgers. Microfracture in his ribs and ended up pitching one game out of the bullpen this year. So 13th start, 14th game overall. Two and two the count. 452 feet were the home run for Springer his first time up.
Some of these ABs and swings we've seen from George Springer really gives you the idea that he is quite comfortable with this ballpark. Obviously good memories here, but he seems he's on pitches. He's in a good place right now.
That was a 2-2 pitch that Springer thought was ball 4. George got out of the way and then headed down to first and realized it's only ball 3.
Slight overreaction from the fan base here. People make mistakes with the strike zone all the time. That's when you step back in and you make them wish they walked you.
There's ball 4. Well, George, after the home run, then he was down in the count 0-2, battles back to draw the walk. You liked hitting here, right?
Loved hitting here. A lot of it had to do with, obviously childhood coming to watch games here, but I really enjoyed it. It plays true. It's a fast, quick infield. The gaps are nice. You crush it, it gets out of here with the batting eye. It's not all that pretty during the day games, but the batting eye here is actually pretty good. And the sound system, wow, it thumps.
Here's Josh Reddick, runner on with 2 outs. Takes a called strike. Josh grounded out to short his first time up. Astros, with their 4-game winning streak on this road trip, continue to play the best baseball of any team on the road. They're 39-17 on the year. Played the same number of games at home and on the road this year and have 7 more wins on the road. 39-17 versus 32-24. Part of a stretch of 22 out of 31 road games coming out of the All-Star break. Springer trying to steal, and he is thrown out by Yasmani Grandal, and George in some pain behind the bag at second base.
Slid in head first, and I think that left or right hand, maybe the left hand, he led with it, jammed into the end of the base. And the tag was right on that left hand. So a lot going on in that bag. And everybody at home always asks, why do guys wear that oven mitt looking pad? There you go.
George being attended to behind second base. Scott Behringer, assistant athletic trainer for the Astros. AJ helps George to his feet. Well, this is not what you want to see here. Springer will grasp that hand gingerly as he heads off the field.
Dodger fans, it's time for Dance Camp presented by Sheridan Park Theater in Las Vegas.
had to leave the game after attempting a headfirst slide of a stolen base in the last inning. Astros are ready without Jose Altuve, without Carlos Correa. We showed you the update on Correa earlier. Now George Springer leads the game. It's their big three up the middle, as Manny Machado will lead things off in this 2-1 Dodgers lead. Machado takes a called strike. Garrett ahead 0-2. Machado scored the second run of this game, which is right now the difference in this game. On a mishandled relay throw, George Springer made a diving attempt, threw the ball back into the infield. It looked like Machado would be out at home plate, but the Astros couldn't handle it. No error charge, because you can't assume you're going to throw out the runner, but they would have had Machado in plenty of time had they fielded it cleanly. Instead, it's a 2-1 lead. Garrett so far has struck out 2. He has walked 1. The 1 walk came around to score. Cole with 196 strikeouts. That's the second highest total of his career, matching 196 strikeouts last year. He did that in 203 innings. This year he has that same total in 143 1/3. Counts 3-2. Garrett's up to 48 pitches in this game.
Not getting any of the edges. Couple pitches well within the zone also. Crew chief Sam Holbrook behind home plate.
Machado 2 for 2. He's got a base hit to right field to lead off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Reddick gets it back in, make sure Manny stays at first. This week on Astros Bases Loaded, we look back at the Randy Johnson trade 20 years ago. Charlie Morton relives the last out of the World Series, and Mike Stanton executes the perfect pickoff move. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the game, only on AT&T Sportsnet. Yasmani Grandal, the batter, he flied out to right his first time up. Now 1 for 10 in his career against Garrett Cole with 3 strikeouts. Garrett misses, it's 1-0. Normally Cole, a guy that you can count on for getting deep into games. He is 7th in innings pitched per start, but today he's got a high pitch count early in this one. Grandal tried to hold up, it's 1-1.
And with some of these pitches on the edges where he's not getting the called strike that he could probably use, still not getting any chase from these LA Dodgers early on either. That's not helping out.
Dodgers take the most pitches in baseball and chase the fewest overall. There's a 1-2 count now for Garrett.
Good changeup. See that too often.
Tried to hold up, he goes around. Grandal wanted to appeal to third. Instead, Sam Holbrook made the call behind the plate. And Grandal, a strikeout victim. 3rd strikeout for Cole, and 1 out in the 3rd.
Thought it was a pretty good call by Sam Holbrook. And that's why. Barrel clearly way out in front of home plate.
Garrett has struck out 40.3% of all left-hand hitters coming into today. That is the best mark in baseball. Cody Bellinger takes a pitch for a ball one. Bellinger flied out to center his first time up.
Defensive rankings are driven by GMC with the runner on first base and Max Stassi behind home plate. We've already seen what Maldonado can do, but recently it's been very good for Max Stassi. He has thrown out 5 of 9 since July 1st. Showing some good pop times, good arm accuracy. It's a nice asset to have behind home plate if you're going to have base runners on.
Stassi's been throwing out runners better lately, and we saw Maldonado throw out a runner in last night's game and help the Astros preserve that shutout. He gunned down Austin Barnes, and Chris Taylor would follow later in that inning with a double. But no runs scored against Lance McCullers in 4 innings of work. Mentioned Lance went on the DL today with that discomfort in his right elbow. Roberto Osuna was activated, part of the relief corps now for the Astros, as he has completed his 75-game suspension. There goes Machado, and the pitch is swung on and sliced towards center. Long run Marisnick, he won't get there. It's all the way to the track. Machado being waved in. He will score. It's 3-1 Dodgers.
Dodgers offense showing up here in game 3 of this 3-game series. Tripling their run output in the first 2 games. Tried to backdoor that breaking ball, and Bellinger stays on it nicely and slices it, like you said, Todd, away from Jake Marisnick into that left center field gap.
Here's Brian Dozier. Dozier grounds one. J.D. Davis is there. And Dozier retired for the second out of the inning. Well, Garrett Cole's never put up great numbers against the Dodgers, now in his 7th start against L.A. He's allowed at least 3 runs at all 7 of those starts. Two outs, a runner on second, and Max Muncy at the plate. Takes a called strike. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Astros playing game 6 of this 8-game road trip. They started their post All-Star break schedule with a 5-game trip, so only home for 3 games in the first 16 coming out of the break. Garrett has not pitched at home since before the All-Star break. Swing and a miss. Muncy goes down. That's 4 strikeouts for Cole, but the Dodgers tack on a run to their lead. It's 3-1.
road trip, but last night saying it was indescribable to take the home run trot after going deep. With the homer, he also had a double, a couple runs scored, driving in 3 runs against his old team. He didn't spend too much time with the Los Angeles Dodgers, but he said it was enough to remember some of those harsh times. And they greet him with boos every time his name was announced, so it felt really good for him to trot around in that Astros uniform, being able to cap off what was a huge inning for the Astros in last night's win, guys.
Yeah, really, offense just burst onto the scene beginning in the 6th inning. Scored 4 in the 6th, 7 more in the 8th when they sent 11 men to the plate. And Reddick on a couple of hops to the right side. Brian Dozier is there. Josh, a couple of ground outs today. And 1 out in the 4th.
Number 2, Alex Bregman.
Walker Buehler, since that opening home run by George Springer, walked Springer after being ahead 0-2 in that count. But he's retired everybody else. We will try and get an update from the Astros clubhouse on Springer, who had to leave the game after a headfirst slide trying to steal a base last inning. There's Bregman still looking for that first hit in this series. Alex now 0 for 8. Takes a fastball inside for ball 1. Bregman grounded out to third his first time up. Astros down 3-1 today, trying for a sweep against the Dodgers. That has not happened since back in 1998. Excuse me, since 2008. The Astros sweeping a series at Dodger Stadium in May of that year. 3-1 the count. In on the hands of Bregman, and that got him on the 3-1 pitch, and he's in some pain. Takes off the batting glove. Left hand, he starts to flex a little bit.
What is going on? Fastball riding up and in, just off the knuckles. Get out the bubble wrap.
Astros have lost George Springer in this game. Correa and Altuve already on the DL. Good sign here as Alex Bregman strolls down to first base.
Carlos Correa playing today?
Yep, DHing.
Can we get the hook? Put him on a plane? Can he make in-game roster moves?
As Bregman was walking down to first, the bat boy brought out that guard on the left hand that you talked about earlier when referencing George Springer.
The oven mitt. Got to have it. Should be mandatory.
It's a comfort zone for guys. Did you ever wear one of those?
I wish I. You know my skill set.
Still run the bases.
I never ran fast enough to dive into a base.
Come on. Did you ever slide head first? Were you always protected?
I only dove head first back into first base on pickoff throws. Yep. I only dove to a base if I felt I needed to avoid a tag and really get out of the way. But more often than not, I would go in feet first. I felt it was a little more aggressive, and if there was potential for a tag, I felt that I could kick the ball or at least create some kind of impact and affect the outcome of the play. So that's a majority of the reason But again, you know, and that's they do teach technique when diving into a base.
Unfortunately, for most guys, it results from an injury before they put on the oven mitt or the protective guard.
And when they teach you to go in, you don't dive into the bases this way. You're diving up, hopefully with your hands up and getting a lot of the abrasion on the bottom part of the wrist. That's why you see a lot of guys either hold their batting gloves, so they dive and they hold on and just get the outside of the hands, don't have the abrasiveness, and you don't jam the fingers. But I always went in feet first because I felt impact was going to jar the ball loose if I had a chance, or if there was a collision, I was going to be able to bring my most force with it. But every time you go with the hands, these things are delicate, and you saw the tag from the, I believe it was Taylor Tag Springer, really slammed his glove onto the hand of George Springer, creating issues too.
Good job by Marwin with a base hit the other way, being down in the count. Marwin now 1 for 2, and the Astros have the tying runs on base with 1 out in the 4th inning. It was hard to tell exactly what the injury was for George as he slid head first, but it looked like the left hand.
Well, and that's what I explained. I'm trying to, you know, you go in, you try and get the fingers up, but watch where the tag of Taylor goes. It goes right to the fingers, and that might be the issue because you could see the fingers on top of the glove. And that might be the problem for George Springer, not going into the bag, but it was a collision with the hand, the glove, and the hand.
Here's Tyler White. Ball gets away, but not far enough for either runner to advance. Yeah, I think you were spot on there on that last look. It does appear like the tag is what did cause George Springer to leave the game. White popped up his first time up. Tyler has 3 home runs on the season and 6 for 17 since his recall this time around with a home run. He pops one out of play, and it's 1-1. Mentioned in last night's game, Tyler White's a guy that usually gives you a pretty healthy at bat. Has 10 walks to 11 strikeouts. A lot of deep counts. Pretty good idea of the strike zone. White down to the count 0-2. Excuse me, 1-2. Walker Buehler is a guy who has made a dozen starts. The 4th inning has been impeccable for him. It's after the 4th inning where sometimes he sees that ERA go up, but he is not allowed to run an earned run this year in the 4th inning.
Those numbers times through the order are pretty impressive too. The first time the batting average is at 231. Second time through is at 218. Third time through the lineup, it only gets to 240, the batting average against. But the ERA jumps.
In the dirt, 2-2.
It's that OPS number that spikes from 600 to 664 that third time through the lineup. So that gives you an idea, guys getting on base via the walk and then damage after that, driving them in.
Swing and a miss. White misses the fastball up. A little frustrated with himself. That's 5 strikeouts for Buehler and 2 outs in the 4th. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price. Get every out-of-market regular season game plus a free subscription to At Bat Premium for $59.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer.
Some Astros represented in there. That bobblehead collection. They've got so much memorabilia at the stadium, it's unbelievable.
J.D. Davis takes one up and in for ball 1. A lot of history made here at Dodger Stadium. The Astros have had their share of history. Obviously last year. Also game 163 back in 1980 that we had a little discussion with Art HOU about in the last homestand.
That was a great discussion too. Artie's got great insight about that great ball clubs in those early 80s.
1-1 to count to JD.
That's what I remember as a kid growing up in this Los Angeles area, is that National League West with the Astros, Dodgers.
This will be a big spot here if JD Davis can connect. Had 4 home runs last year in 62 at bats. This year JD's up to 76 at bats and has 1 home run at the big league level.
Be a good time for a mistake from Buehler. Good fastball to hit, but when it's barreling through there at 97 miles an hour, it makes it tough.
Mentioning those NL West rivalries through the years. Astros losing 222 games against the Dodgers on the road throughout their franchise history. The only team they've lost more games to on the road is the Cincinnati Reds. Overall against the Dodgers, 331 and 394. JD Davis strikes out on the full count pitch. That's 6 strikeouts for Walker Buehler. The Dodgers lead 3-1.
The 2019 season tickets are now on sale. Fans who purchase season tickets now enjoy immediate benefits, including guaranteed 2018 postseason priority access. For more information, visit astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
A lot of proud Astros fans at Dodger Stadium through this weekend series. Last night at one point you could actually hear audibly in the 9th inning a "Let's go Astros" chant in that 14-0 game. Many of the Dodgers fans had headed out well before that 9th inning, as it was all Astros last night. Today the Dodgers lead 3-1. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Chris Taylor, Kike Hernandez, and Walker Buehler. 7, 8, 9 facing Garrett Cole. Garrett could use a quick fourth. He is at 62 pitches through 3 innings. It was a warm afternoon. You know, Cole's a guy who normally averages 104 pitches per start. I'd like to see that total above 20 per inning in the first 3. 2-0 the count to Taylor, who struck out his first time up. Astros playing the Dodgers to wrap up this series. Then they will play the Dodgers' arch rival, the Giants, for 2 games. Dodgers will also play a team from that same Bay Area, but they'll get the day off tomorrow before a series in Oakland. Quick 2-gamer between the Dodgers and the A's. So after today, the Astros are Dodgers fans for the next series. AJ continues to focus on his squad, but back of his mind, he knows that the A's are winning a lot of baseball games. Cole has struck out 4 today, including 2 last inning. Ball's hit well to left field down the line, and this ball is foul. The distance for a home run, but hooked it foul.
Change up right on right from Garrett Cole. Again, that change in velocity is what allowed the barrel of Chris Taylor to get out in front of that pitch and yank it foul, fortunately.
Remember when the A's were under 500, 70 games in?
Every time they played the Astros, it felt like.
Yeah, they kept dropping below 500. Now a 32-10 stretch, and they are maintaining a 5-game deficit despite the Astros winning streak. 3-2 the count. A's are doing it by winning a lot of games on the road. Their offense has come alive when they leave the Coliseum. Oakland currently ahead in their game today with the Tigers 2-0. Since June 15th, Blummer, nobody's been better than the A's.
Yeah, he said it. 32-10 is absolutely incredible. Chris Davis trying to add the H at the end of that name and a U for Crush Davis. 9 home runs since the break.
Saw the news on Mike Scioscia there. He is denying it. So that nothing has changed since the end of last season.
Yep.
See how that plays out.
That is an interesting situation brewing in another place not near LA, but called LA.
And the Mariners, of course, really struggling. There's a called third strike as Chris Taylor goes down looking. Good battle between Cole and Taylor. Won by Cole for his 5th strikeout.
Today's Texas Auto Diamond Kings are those Astros here at Chavez Ravine. TK was hinting at it earlier, and this is that 1980 pennant clinching game against the Dodgers. A lot of good names and faces, even that old school sweater popping out of that dugout.
Art Howe recounting that weekend for us and having to play that extra game 163. Art had a huge game offensively to propel the Astros to that victory in their first postseason ever in 1980. They would go on to play one of the more incredible postseason NLCSs, where 4 of the 5 games, the last 4, all went extra innings against the Phillies. TK Hernandez takes a called strike. Down on the count, 1-2.
Was trying to get Art to tell the story of Joe Negro basically before the game came in and said, boys, just give me 2. All he wanted was 2 runs, and he'd go out there and get him that W.
That was a stellar Dodgers team that kept winning in the late 70s. And if you go back to that 1980 season, those two teams were just back and forth right at each other.
Well, it's just interesting to see these numbers back from 1980 and then compare them to some of the World Series numbers that we saw from last year and how comparable and how big these battles were between LA and Houston.
Speared by Davis. Nice backhanded play, and the throw, a strong one. J.D. Davis taking a hit away from Kike Hernandez for the second out of the inning.
That's a big play for J.D. Davis, but a bigger play for Garrett Cole, who's trying to control that pitch count here, facing 7, 8, 9. This gives him an opportunity to go 1, 2, 3 through this inning, having to face the pitcher next. Great shot at J.D. getting ready. Being patient, not overreacting. Like how he kind of held his ground, got his eyes on the baseball. Again, a tough ballpark to see the ball off the bat and made a nice play.
Here's Walker Buehler batting for the second time. He grounded out his first time up. Buehler takes a called strike. Cole sitting right now at 199 strikeouts on the year. He's had one other 200 strikeout season. As Buehler fouls one back. Garrett Cole, who's never struck out more than one per inning in his career, had 202 strikeouts in 2015 with the Pirates. Accomplished that in 208 innings. Trying to get the opposing pitcher for number 200 this season, and he breaks over the breaking ball, and there it is. Strikeout number 200 on the year for Garrett Cole in his first 1, 2, 3 inning.
By Mercedes-Benz. August 5th of 1994, that would eventually end in a broken hand and a lockout/strike by the Major League Baseball players. But Jeff Bagwell was putting up just ridiculous numbers. 110 games in at this point. Jeff Bagwell has 38 home runs, 69 extra base hits, and 112 RBIs. Just an amazing, monster, ridiculous type season. It's a shame it ended as quick as it did. And these are the 110 game numbers. 368 batting average, 32nd, 39 home runs, 116 RBIs, and the OPS of 1201.
Ridiculous.
It is really a shame that he had to pitch up and in, break that hand. And it's also a shame that you had to have the disagreement between labor and ownership, but my goodness, 110 games, 116 RBIs.
Yeah, well, when he set all those marks on this date, just 105 games in, and right now these teams across baseball have played another weeks worth of games than Bagwell's Astros did that year because they started earlier this year. And the most RBIs for anybody right now in baseball is JD Martinez with 91. So for Baggy to put up those numbers, just remarkable. What a year. And we'll have Bagwell with us coming up on Saturday for our next monthly visit from the Hall of Famer as he joins us in the broadcast booth once a month. It'll be Saturday against Seattle. Always an enjoyable broadcast when we get Baggy up there as Max Stassi down on the count 0-2 and takes a called third strike. Stassi doesn't like that call from Sam Holbrook. That's 7 strikeouts for Walker Buehler. Two-seamer came back on Stassi. Buehler will throw the four-seamer about twice as much as the two-seamer. And here's Tony Kemp.
Just checking out some of those numbers from that 1994 team for Jeff Bagwell. He also scored 104 runs in those 110 games. But you got to have guys that are getting on base. Biz is a guy who had a high on-base percentage. He was getting on base at .411.
Kemp into right field, pretty well hit. Hernandez at the track, at the wall, and it's gone! Tony Kemp hits a home run against Walker Buehler. Vandy on Vandy crime, and it's a 3-2 game as Kemp hits his 4th of the year.
Tony lost the first AB to a strikeout, but he commandeers this AB with a long blast to right. Hugs. Oh. These guys are hilarious.
I like that. Commandeered versus the Commodore. As he goes out deep to right, Hernandez kept drifting back, and then next thing you know, he was looking up and that ball left the yard. Here's Garrett Cole, who struck out his first time up. Garrett's actually a much better hitter than he has shown as an Astro. He's 0 for 8 this year with 8 strikeouts. But a career 169 hitter, and he's actually hit 3 home runs.
Most of all the pitchers combined on this Houston Astros pitching staff. I'd use that one every chance I could in the clubhouse.
And that's one in play. At least Garrett did not strike out in at bat number 9 on the year as he flies out to center field. And that's 2 outs in the inning.
Tony Kemp with that blast to right field. Off speed, does a good job of getting underneath it and launching it into the air, taking a pretty good pass through it. You could sense that he knew he got it good, but he wasn't sure if it was going to carry. But a day game here at Dodger Stadium, plenty of that heat pushing that baseball out of here.
TK was struggling with finding that baseball out there in right field. This ball is a breaking ball that hits Jake Marisnick. Tried to spin a curveball up there on the first pitch, and he catches Marisnick for a hit by pitch with 2 outs.
Leadoff spot has been on base 3 times today. Tony Kemp gets some StatCast love. 375-foot home run. That high launch angle allows it to be in the air long enough to get over that right field wall.
I saw a 45-degree angle earlier in the series when Jock Peterson hit one out. That one 38 degrees. Here's Josh Reddick tying run on base. Reddick represents the go-ahead run. We mentioned Walker Buehler has struggled after the 4th inning. The Astros get him for 1 in this inning. Reddick has grounded out a couple of times. And a called strike. It's 1-1.
Jake is anxious to get on the move over there at first base, but he did a good job in that hit by pitch. I know it was a breaking ball coming in a little bit slower, but he did a great job of turning back towards the catcher and putting his back to the pitcher and taking that hit by pitch off the back.
Jake stole a base here in Friday's game against Grandal, his 3rd of the season, and he's checked at first.
Jake does a very good job of getting big leads out there.
fastest Astro on the StatCast sprint leaderboard. He was leaning, but he got back. Jake definitely wants to go here. Jake, another guy that does not wear the oven mitt.
And he wears it out of preference. He has said that he's tried it but does not wear it because he's not comfortable with it on.
He's off and running, and Reddick had a pitch to hit, fouls it away. Jake had a good jump.
Yeah, you almost feel, I've been watching Jake over there at first base this entire AB, and I mean, he's basically leaning on every pitch.
The last fastball from Buehler, 98 miles an hour.
Let's be a good look at it. He's always on the, he's got most of his weight. He's not standing with his weight in the middle of his body. He's got a lot of that weight on that right leg leaning towards first base.
Josh fouls one towards the crowd. Could be playable. Machado gives it a look and a backhand play right before he gets to the rail. Manny Machado, a nice play to end the 5th inning.
Tony Kemp helping the Astros get a little bit closer to this 3-run lead that the Dodgers have with this long, majestic blast to right field.
One-run game again as the Astros trail the Dodgers 3-2 here at Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine. Lumber sampled a Super Dodger dog yesterday.
I did. I enjoyed it. Super Dodger dog.
Garrett Cole will start this inning facing the top of the order for the Dodgers. Jock Peterson, Manny Machado, Yasmani Grandal. Cole with his first 1-2-3 inning last inning, and also picked up a couple of strikeouts. Garrett has struck out at least one batter an inning. 6 in the game, 200 for the season. Peterson a walk, a run scored, and a ground out. Max Stassi takes a foul off of the bat of Peterson. It's 1-1. Cole becomes the 3rd American leaguer with 200 strikeouts on the season. Chris Sale at 207. His teammate hit the 200 plateau earlier in this series, with Justin Verlander getting to 204. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7 for Cole and 201 on the season. Our Best in Texas Power pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Last time a couple of right-handers had 200 or more strikeouts was 14 years ago. Some pretty good names that Verlander and Cole joined.
Roger Clemens and Roy Oswalt, I'm with you. It's a nice 1-2 punch for the Houston Astros. Some power fastballs and power breaking balls from both Verlander and Cole. Cole now just 1 strikeout away from tying his single season career high of 202 back in 2015.
Facing Manny Machado. Machado a couple of base hits and a couple of runs scored. See, Cole is 3 behind his teammate Justin Verlander. Those two have had a little healthy competition lately in the strikeout department. It seems like one passes the other in every start. Machado fouls without a play. It's 1-1. That year in 2004, Clemens ended the year with 218 strikeouts. Roy Oswalt with 206. You're still talking about 8 weeks left for the Cole Verlander combo to jump up in that category as Kemp will play this on a couple of bounces. Manny Machado is 3 for 3 as he doubles into left field. Here's Yasmani Grandal.
It's being announced that George Springer is left with left thumb discomfort. Hear that word a lot these days. Discomfort. A lot of these discomforts for Astros, unfortunately, have turned into DL stints. That's the only thing that worries me.
Lance McCullers leaving yesterday's game with right elbow discomfort and now on the DL. George's left thumb will be looked at, and we'll get more on that from A.J. Hinch after the game. Head first slide into second base did not go well for George. Cole ahead of the count, 1-2 on Grandal, who was fly to right and struck out. On the ground with the shift, it's bobbled momentarily. Bregman stays with it and he throws a little wide, but Tyler White able to spear it for out number 2. On the play, Machado moves to third. Join the Astros this Friday as they take on the Mariners. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a George Springer replica rainbow jersey presented by Houston Methodist. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/promotions. Cole now facing Cody Bellinger. Bellinger doubled in a run his last time up. Garrett's allowed 6 base hits today and 3 runs. Has a runner on third here with 2 outs. Fastball upstairs. It's 1-0. Checking out the single season strikeout list for the Astros, and their franchise history. The number 10 spot is 219. Darryl Kyle struck out 219 in 1996. So both Cole and Verlander could be jumping into those top 10 numbers in the next couple of starts. Verlander sitting at 204 and Cole at 201. Garrett with a 2-1 count. There is JV. Started out this series with a 14 strikeout, 7 2/3 innings performance, allowing just 1 run in a 2-1 Astros win. He will get the start against Seattle to open up that homestand. Sliced out of play. Mentioned the Astros putting Lance McCullers Jr. on the DL. There's a very good chance, although they still haven't decided, that they could stay with just the 4-man rotation for now, because they have a day off coming up on Wednesday. They'll have another day off going into and out of that Rocky series Monday and Thursday of the following week. So they really don't need another 5th starter until August 21st.
It's interesting how that lines up, isn't it, with the days off?
So it's something that AJ and Jeff Luhnow will kick around on the flight to San Fran, and also at some point, depending on how long Lance may be out, they could need a 5th starter, and they have a couple of decent options in their bullpen, guys who have started in the past, and Colin McHugh last year and Brad Peacock the year before. Peacock got some starts last year as well. Swing and a foul tip caught by Stassi. That'll match the most strikeouts in a season for Garrett Cole, his 202nd of the year. It's a 3-2 game. Rooms to go. When it's time to decorate, Rooms to Go makes it easy and fast, all at great low prices. By Karbach Brewing. Crack open a cold one, crack open a Karbach, proudly brewed in Texas. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. 1-run game as we head to the 6th inning from LA. The Astros and the Dodgers played a 1-run game on Friday night. Astros won 14-0 last night, and today the Dodgers lead 3-2 heading into the 6th inning. 3-4-5 hitters: Alex Bregman, Marwin Gonzalez, and Tyler White. Alex hit by pitches last time up on his left hand, but seemed to be fine after he was checked out on his way down to first. Takes the ball. It's 1-0. Looks like the Astros are going to get some bullpen action going, which could tell you that Garrett Cole's afternoon could be over after 5 innings of work. Cole had that pitch count approaching 100 last inning. It's a very warm day. Well, Harris starting to loosen up in the Astros bullpen. Bregman into right center field. That ball's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Bregman heads to second. He will have a leadoff double for the Astros in the 6th.
Good start for the Astros here in the 6th. That may spur the Dodgers bullpen to get going, but a breaking ball hanging up out over the plate. Alex does a great job in recognition with the foot down, keeps the hands back, and drives it the other way. They were playing him to that pull sign on the outside, in the outfield. That was just a beautiful piece of hitting.
Bregman has reached base in 34 straight road games, and he represents the tying run. Double number 36 on the year, which is good for second in all of baseball. Here's Marwin 1 for 2 with a single his last time up. Julia.
Hey, more on Marwin, who's had a great stretch here in the start of August. He had the 2 for 3 night with a solo home run with that left-handed swing. And then on Wednesday against the Seattle Mariners, we saw him with the 2 home runs from the right side of the plate. And he was asked about that right-handed swing, something he's been working on. He said, I've been working on everything right now. Things have been a struggle for him this season. But AJ did say here recently, he's loved his pitch selection. We saw him draw a couple of walks as well, which is good to see. That means he's waiting out his pitch, and he's feeling much better here and hoping to continue it. TK.
Yeah, it's good to see Marwin come alive on this road trip. Certainly he's got about 8 more weeks left in the year to turn around some numbers that he's not thrilled with on the season. Even last at bat, he got down in the count 1-2 and didn't try and do too much, just served a fastball into left field for a base hit.
For me, that's the biggest thing for Marwin. When he's taking some of these pitches the other way, it means he's seeing the ball a little bit longer and he's not panicking. And when you're seeing the ball longer, you can lay off some of the pitches out of the zone. And that's a big thing for Marwin, because we've seen him early on, especially that first half of the season, really swinging it off speed down and in.
AJ moving Marwin into the cleanup spot today with the injuries to Correa and Altuve, and Yuli Gurriel getting the day off. Marwin not chasing that breaking ball in the dirt, and he's looking at a 3-1 count right now. Marwin batting 4th for the first time this year, has batted 5th 14 times. We saw the Astros bullpen up with Will Harris. The Dodgers are starting to stir in their bullpen in this 1-run game with a runner on second base. Wheeler's in the mid-80s right now at 85 pitches. Ball 4. Marwin draws the walk, and the Astros have the tying and go-ahead runs on base with nobody out in the 6th inning. Dylan Floro, who pitched in game 1 of this series, warming up in the Dodgers bullpen, as pitching coach Rick Honeycutt will go out and talk with his 24-year-old right-hander.
Watch the Astros your way by downloading the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions do apply.
2 runners having a little discussion with the first base coach, Alex Cintron. Marwin and Alex with a little huddle around first base after the meeting on the mound. We'll see if Tyler White can come through here. Just watching some of his practice swings during that meeting on the mound, looked like he was trying to stay focused on going the other way. Struck out against Walker Buehler his last time up. He has popped up and struck out. Tyler batting with nobody out and 2 runners on. Fouls one at the plate. Astros got on the board after one pitch in this game. George Springer, a 452-foot home run to center field. Astros adding a run last inning on a home run by Tony Kemp to right, and now trying to tack on to their total here. 1-1 the count.
I wonder if Alex's double the other way is going to change anything in that Chevy stroll pull as far as liking the hair color a little bit more now. It's much more attractive when you get hits.
First hit of the series for Bregman. Stroll poll, in case you missed it, was the stash or the new do. And Tyler down on the count, 1-2. Buehler staying outside against Tyler White. White batting .333 since he was recalled from AAA Fresno. Called third strike. 98-mile-an-hour fastball as Buehler picks up his 8th strikeout. Starting pitchers with 8 strikeouts, and that's the last batter Buehler will face. J.D. Davis due up, 2 runners on base. And Walker Buehler's day is over. (3-2) LA. We'll be back after this. Blues, who am I, Spirit of 76. AL leader, one-time All-Star. If you know the answer, you can send your guesses along to @AT&T Sportsnet SW. Answer today's clues and name that Astro, presented by Nissan. Walker Buehler goes 5 1/3 innings today, leaves with 2 runners on and 1 out, and turns the ball over to Dylan Floro.
We have seen Dylan in this series, pitched on the 3rd against these Houston Astros, going an inning, had a strikeout on the season, pitching in 34 games between the Cincinnati Reds and Los Angeles Dodgers. He has thrown 47 innings, 38 strikeouts, 4 straight shutout appearances he has going. Fastball, changeup, slider.
Well, Dave Roberts electing to make the move here with J.D. Davis stepping to the plate. J.D. probably glad to see somebody other than Walker Buehler, as he was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts against Buehler. Bregman on second, Marwin on first. 1 out in the 6th. Floro faced Justin Verlander, George Springer, and Josh Reddick on Friday and ended up with a 1-2-3 7th inning in that game. Fastball inside to JD. It's 1-0. Mostly fastball slider to righties, 60% fastball, 35% sliders. Fastball misses in off the plate, and JD in a good hitter's count, 2-0. Bregman a double, Marwin a walk. Astros have 4 hits. Tying run on second base, go ahead run on first. Everything in on Davis as he pops one foul. It's 2-1.
Would have been a good opportunity to get the head out and just hit a rocket, even if it's foul, just barrel something up. That puts a little more fear in the pitcher's mind when you have the ability to turn on a pitch like that. What he just did in that 2-0 count by trying to inside out, it gives the impression to Floro that he can come back in there.
They worked Tyler White away and ended up getting him to strike out. Now they're working JD in. Ground ball towards the hole. Glove by Taylor. Throws to second for 1. And the relay in time for a double play. Davis grounds into a double play to end the 6th inning. Dodgers still lead this game 3-2. Nissan, we gave you the clues last half inning. You had time to send your answer to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Floyd Bannister was the overall #1 pick in the 1976 draft. With Seattle, led the AL in strikeouts in 1982 and an All-Star that year as well. Floyd Bannister today is named that Astro. Bottom half of the 6th inning, Dodgers leading this game 3-2. And the new pitcher for the Astros is Will Harris.
Will Harris on the season, making his 46th appearance in 39 1/3, 50 strikeouts in that time, only 11 walks. Saw him last in Seattle where he went an inning, struck out 2 with 21 pitches.
Both pitchers leave the game under the 100 pitch threshold. Warm afternoon today, and a lot of longer innings early for Garrett Cole. He had 62 pitches through 5. Excuse me, 62 pitches through 3. Ends up leaving the game after 5. Garrett walked the very first batter he faced on 4 pitches, didn't walk anybody else today. But 6 hits and 3 runs allowed in 5 innings of work. And Will Harris has come out of the bullpen and struggled with his own here against Dozier. It's 3-0. Up with 99 pitches on the afternoon. There's a called strike. It's 3-1. Dozier doubled in 2 runs in the first inning. Also has grounded out to third. On the ground to Bregman at short. And there's 1 out.
First baseman, Max Muncy.
We'll bring up Max Muncy. The Astros have done a good job pitching to Muncy in this series. Leading home run hitter on this Dodgers team with 24 is 0 for 6 and has struck out 6 times. Cole ending the day with those 8 strikeouts puts him at 202, matching a career high. There's a strike to Muncy. It's 1-1.
3 pitches in the previous AB in that portion of the zone that weren't called strikes. It's interesting.
Two and 1 the count. Battle of the bullpens from this point forward. The Astros bullpen's been on a nice roll lately. 5 innings of shutout baseball last night. Counts full on Muncy. Swing and a miss. Harris able to come back and strike out Muncy, who has been a strikeout victim all 7 at bats in this series against the Astros. 9 overall Ks today for Houston pitching, and there's 2 outs.
Come to Minute Maid Park this Friday for Friday Night Fireworks presented by Occidental Petroleum. The best fireworks show in town will be synced to 70s and disco themed music after the game this Friday night. Visit Astros.com/Friday nights for tickets.
Here's Chris Taylor. He has also struck out a couple of times today against Garrett Cole. Takes a called strike. No bullpen action going for the Dodgers, so Dylan Floro will be out there for the 7th as this ball sent deep to center field. Jake all the way back at the track near the wall, and he's robbed a home run. Jake went up and over the wall and took one away from Chris Taylor to keep this game at 3-2.
The snake has taken. Huge play in this ball game right now, keeping the Dodgers off the board. Timing this up perfectly. A great glance at the wall. Time the jump. Robs Chris Taylor of a home run. Keeps the score 3-2.
play by Jake Marisnick to end the bottom half of the 6th inning. And now the Astros will have Max Stassi, Tony Kemp, and Garrett Cole do up, and Will Harris do up. With Jake Marisnick do up 4th if they get a runner aboard. Jake saving Will Harris of a run with that catch, and Will be pinch hit for this inning, you would imagine. And Max Stassi hit by a pitch.
What's going on here?
Astros have been hit by 3 pitches in this game.
The fielder, Tony Kemp.
Going back to Jake's catch. It's a great angle to watch him go out there and play that ball. Fundamentally sound, running, keeping an eye on the baseball, checking the wall. And even on this bright day with the sun, he is completely focused on taking that home run away.
Jake's one of the best in the game defensively. And he just saved the Astros what could have been a 4-2 game. The Astros were hit by 3 pitches in Friday night's game. Last night, Tony Kemp was hit by a pitch on the foot. And today they've been hit by 3 more pitches. So Dodgers pitching has hit 7 Astros batters in this series. Kemp would leave the game last night, but obviously he was fine. It was a blowout at that point, and Jake Marisnick came on as a pinch runner.
Yeah, Jake has been swinging the bat well, but Jake from Rake Farm is also a pretty good insurance policy out there.
Yuli Gurriel has grabbed the bat. He's in the on-deck circle. Jake would be due up after Yuli. Yuli will pinch hit for Will Harris. Astros put 2 runners on with nobody out last inning, and a strikeout and a double play took them out of the 6th. Now Kemp facing Dylan Floro after a home run in his last at bat. Tony down to the count here, 1-2. There is Yuli waiting to hit for Will Harris. AJ still has Martin Maldonado and Evan Gattis on his bench. Two and two. Kemp hit a home run against his Vanderbilt buddy Walker Buehler after Buehler struck him out his first time up. Swing and a miss. Floro able to strike out Tony Kemp. The first out of the 7th inning.
Hitter number 10, Yuli Gurriel.
Well, Yuli will pinch hit here for Will Harris. Really 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year.
Been a good road trip for Yuli. 7 for 23 is good for a .304 batting average. Couple of RBIs mixed in there. Came out of the break struggling a little bit, but a hit in his last 5 games.
Ryan Presley warming up in the Astros bullpen. He'll be the new pitcher, you would imagine, in the 7th. As Harris being pinch hit for. Really down to the count 1-2. Hero has that good slider that breaks away from the righties. 2-2. Jake with the defensive play of the game in the bottom half of the 6th inning, waiting for a chance on deck in this half inning. Yuli the other way towards right. Kike Hernandez goes back at the corner, makes the play. Stassi will retreat to first base as Gurriel retired on a fly ball to the track.
It was a good running catch by Enrique Hernandez out there in right field. Thought Yuli might have a chance to kind of shoot that corner down the right field side, but Kike got a great jump. Put his head down, found a spot, and picked the baseball back up to make a good running catch.
That's not far from where you watched the World Series last year.
Yeah, those were great seats. I didn't realize it was going to be there was going to be a play right in front of me that was going to have such a huge impact.
Here's Jake Marisnick, hit by a curveball his last time. It was actually his only time at the plate. Swings and misses at the first pitch from Floro.
Floro's got a good mix of sinker slider. Jake is aggressive on fastballs early in the count. That's why he got that first pitch slider.
Another slider, and Jake down to the count 0-2. Up, it's 1-2. Jake's done a nice job hitting a home run last night. Overall, his last 14 starts with the Astros, batting .333 with an OPS near 1100. Lays off another fastball. It's 2-2. Floro got a double play to get out of the 6th inning. The 7-year-old right-hander. Pitching with the Tampa Bay Rays, the Chicago Cubs, and the Cincinnati Reds prior to coming to LA. Two-two pitch, called third strike. Jake didn't like the call. He goes down on a slider looking. 2 strikeouts for Floro in the inning. And the Astros trailing 3-2. 7th inning stretch time here at Dodger Stadium, and we're going to send it to Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton in our Rooms to Go lounge.
own Jeff Blum has talked nonstop about Dodger dogs. So before we left town, I had to go find one, and I found a grilled one. That's very important. There is a secret stand where you can grab the grilled ones. Also, while I was out looking, though, I found a Chito Lote, which is an interesting food item, an interesting take on the elote. This is roasted sweet corn rubbed with chipotle lime mayo, and it's dusted with flaming hot Cheetos. I have no idea how to eat that, but while I figure that out, I'm going to have my Dodger dog as an appetizer. Cheers.
Cheers. Nice work, Julia, as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning in this 3-2 game. Astros back to their bullpen, going to Ryan Presley. Yuli Gurriel, who came on as a pinch hitter, stays in the game. He's at third base, so J.D. Davis is out of the game. A chance to see Ryan Presley work another game as an Astro.
There's Ryan Presley. He's averaging this season 95.8 miles an hour on his fastball. Excellent curveball, excellent slider, 70 strikeouts in 50 innings pitched.
Ryan facing Kike Hernandez, who pops one up. Tyler White all by himself over there, puts it away in fair territory. One pitch, one out for Presley here in the 7th. Matt Kemp will come on as a pinch hitter. He'll hit for Dylan Floro here with one out in the 7th. Kemp started in right field on Friday night, started in left field last night. Kemp in a 1 for 34 right now since July 24th. 0 for 7 in this series. The Dodgers set a stadium record here on Thursday night, the off night for the Astros. They scored 21 runs in that game against Milwaukee. No visiting or home team in the history of this stadium has scored as many as 21 runs. Now the Astros in game 1 limited the Dodgers to a single run, a leadoff home run by Jock Peterson. Shut them out last night, and now another low scoring game as the Dodgers lead 3-2 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Presley ahead of the count, 1-2.
Got ahead with the nasty slider for that second strike.
Swing and a miss. Kemp goes down. First strikeout for Presley. 10 in the game for Astros pitching, and there's 2 away in the 7th. A look ahead is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Here's the pitching matchups for that 2-game series in San Fran. A quick night day 2-game series. Charlie Morton against Pudge's son, Derek Rodriguez. And then Dallas Keuchel against Madison Bumgarner.
It's kind of cool. When you've played some of your teammates, now you're calling games for their kids.
Morton against Rodriguez. Dallas against Madison Bumgarner. The Astros wrapping up this 8-game road trip in San Francisco before returning home. Back to the top of the lineup for LA. Here's Jock Peterson. Peterson grounds one to the left side. Yuli is there. Only one on the left side of the diamond. He makes the play. Good 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Presley out of the bullpen. We head to the 8th in a 1-run game.
Chevy Stropole. We had a lot of votes. People really wanting to weigh in on their favorite signature look for Alex Bregman right now. And the mustache is the winner with 60%. Thanks again, and remember to follow us on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW.
Fans are engaged.
Do you think it's a vote for the mustache or against the new look?
Oh, that's a good point.
I love how she plays the fence every time. I don't know how she does it. I don't know if I'm able to do it, but I am very impressed. It's incredible.
Bregman with the gold look in this series. Finally got his first hit with the new dude. So maybe some late votes to get to 40%.
That's what I was saying. Maybe enhance the hair a little bit by getting some knocks.
See if the Astros can do something against the new pitcher, Scott Alexander, in the 8th, down 3-2. Dylan Floro with 1 2/3 innings of really solid work as Alexander takes over.
50th appearance in 49 innings, 42 strikeouts. Throws in the low 90s. Also has a changeup and a slider.
Slowly hit right side. Dozier hustles, flips with the glove in time to get Reddick. Josh retired. He's now 0 for 4 today. 1 out in the 8th.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Best on the road since last season. The Houston Astros, of course, play very good baseball on the road. Coming into this game, they are 39-17 in 2018. But since last year, 92-45, best winning percentage. And what an incredible run differential that is at plus 281. They are mashing and pitching well on the road.
No one even close to that record or the run differential. The Indians, the next closest at plus 161. Alex Bregman's been on base the last couple of times, hit by a pitch on the left hand in the 4th and doubled in the right center field his last time up. Astros saw a little bit of Scott Alexander with the Kansas City Royals the last 3 years. Bregman 1 for 1 against him. % fastballs against right-hand hitters. He delivers a fastball to Bregman, then he fouls away. It's 1-1. Astros led this game 1-0 after 1 pitch. Dodgers came back with 2 in the bottom half of the first on a 2 RBI double by Brian Dozier. Dodgers tacked on a run, lead 3-1 before Tony Kemp made it a 1-run game with a home run of his own. It's 3-2 headed to the 8th. Astros have 5 outs to work with. Bregman holds up. The count's 3-1. Ball 4. Bregman draws the walk. Alex on base for the 3rd consecutive time. And that'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez as a right-hand hitter. Jansen warming up in the Dodgers bullpen. The one thing the Dodgers were looking for at the trade deadline, they've obviously added to their offense by acquiring Manny Machado and Brian Dozier, but they were also looking for that potential 8th inning setup guy. Last year they had Brandon Morrow in that role. The year before, Joe Blanton. They've been trying different guys with matchups in the 8th inning this season and haven't had that go-to to lead into Kenley Jansen on a consistent basis. Marwin takes a called strike. It's 0-1. Still could see some maneuverability from Andrew Friedman and his staff here in LA prior to the August deadline, when players have to clear waivers and be on the roster to be postseason eligible. Right now, if today was the final day of the series, if yesterday was the final day of the season, the Dodgers are 1 game back in the NL West, and they would not qualify as a wild card. But everybody bunched up in the wild card picture, everybody bunched up in the NL West. It's going to be a lot more intriguing race to the postseason in the NL than you would think it's going to be in the AL. Marwin back to the mound. Alexander gloves to second for 1, and they turn a double play. Nice play by the left-hand pitcher Scott Alexander to start the double play, and we head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 3-2 LA. By Toyota, let's go places. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. Southern California, beautiful scenery around here. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Dodgers lead 3-2. We will head up north after this game to take on the Giants for 2. As Ryan Presley, very efficient in his 1 inning of work in the 7th inning, back out there for more here in the 8th. Facing the heart of the order, Manny Machado, Yasmani Grandal, and Cody Bellinger. Machado first pitch swinging. He's been on base all 3 times with 3 hits. Single run scored in the first, single and a run scored in the 3rd, and a double in the 5th. And he still has enough at bats to be in the top 10 in the American League in hitting, and he's currently 4th. What he did with the Orioles at 315. Game number 17 as a Dodger. His 3 for 3 has his batting average with LA up to 310, moved up 60 points today. Presley gets a called 3rd strike on the outside edge. Machado out for the first time today. 2nd strikeout for Presley.
You've got a power player of the game for you, brought to you by TXU Energy. George Springer in the 1st inning, leading off with that first pitch home run to get the Astros on the board early. Comes out of the game, and Jake Marisnick comes in, and he takes away a home run. So that leadoff spot for the Houston Astros is that power player for you. This guy's doing a good job. You've got to be able to have some good support, and Jake coming in with the big run-saving catch to keep this game right where it's at.
395 to straightaway center field here at Dodger Stadium. Jake was able to get back to that wall and just get above the wall for that incredible catch to rob Chris Taylor. Here's Yasmani Grandal. 0 for 3, fly out, strikeout, ground out. Presley with a called strike. It's 1-1. Ryan Presley's spot is due up 2nd in this next inning. Evan Gadd is still on the bench for the Astros. Imagine he'll get an at bat. Down and in, it's 2-1. First work for Presley in this series. Called strike. Certain pitchers AJ likes out of the bullpen for 1 inning at a time. Other pitchers like Presley, he's comfortable. We saw it with Peacock yesterday, going for multiple innings. Presley wanted that call, doesn't get it from Holbrook. It's 3-2.
He sure did. Felt like he made a pretty good pitch, didn't get the call. Stassi trying to get it for him on that outside corner with the breaking ball, but just off the edge. I like what I've seen from Presley so far in this Astros uniform. Good velocity and good secondary pitches.
Texas guy Ryan Presley.
That helps.
Swing and a miss. Presley gets Grandal swinging. Yasmani frustrated. Presley now has 3 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3. Julia?
Join the Astros next weekend as we turn back the clock for Legends Weekend, presented by Houston Methodist. Events include a Springer replica rainbow jersey giveaway, a Carlos Beltran 2004 playoff bobblehead giveaway, and a pregame Legends home run derby. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/legends. Excited to see Blummer there. Hey, a quick update for you guys. Jose Altuve flew back to Houston today to see team doctors. This is not great news considering they were hoping that he would play in the San Francisco series the next 2 days. Did try to do some light jogging yesterday. That didn't go as planned. So I wanted to get another look by the doctors, get a checkpoint for him. But no baseball activities, nothing for him. And so getting checked out, we'll know more in the next couple of days.
All right, hopefully we get some good news on Altuve as Correa works his way back to the team. Anticipate seeing Carlos in that series against Seattle at some point if all goes well. And hopefully we'll get some good news on Altuve and Lance McCullers Jr. heading back to Houston.
And George Springer.
Yep, George will find out a little more after this game. Be sure to stay tuned to our Astros Live post-game show. We'll hear from AJ Hinch afterwards. Cody Bellinger fouls one away. It's 2-1. Very first time Ryan Presley pitched with the Astros, he allowed a home run to Rougned Odor. Then he retired the next 3 batters. His next outing came in the first game of this road trip in Seattle. Retired all 4 batters he faced in that game. And in this one, he's retired the first 5 he has faced. So after that initial blip on the radar with the home run allowed the first batter he faced with Houston, he's now retired 12 in a row over those 3 outings. Bellinger 1 for 3 with an RBI double in this game. Takes a called strike. It's 2-2. Looking ahead to the 9th inning for the Astros, Tyler White will be due up first. The pitcher spot Presley with Evan Gattis on deck as a potential pinch hitter, and then Max Stassi. Ground ball into the shift and past the diving or the sliding Marwin Gonzalez. A play for Marwin. Bellinger probably wound up with a base hit on that ground ball.
6, Brian Dozier.
Tough play for Marwin going to his right. He was going down to slide to make the pick, but also to be able to pop back up and try and make a strong throw. Bellinger runs pretty good too.
Is ruled a base hit. First hit allowed by the Astros bullpen. Here is Brian Dozier. He grounded out his last time up. His double in the first inning. 2-run double, giving the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. They have not trailed since. Dozier 6 for 14 in his Dodgers career. This is his 5th game with LA. Inside, it's 1-1. Well, the guys that probably know each other pretty well.
Yeah, it's always interesting when these trades start to happen. Ex-teammates are now competing against each other.
Dozier has led the Twins in home runs each of the last 5 years. Runner on the move, and Dozier fouls one away. So these guys have spent the last 6 years together with the Twins, and now going head-to-head for the first time. Other than maybe an intra-squad game in spring training, they've always been on the same side. Runner on the move again, pitches upstairs. The throw by Stassi is not in time. Bellinger with a steal. He picks his spots well. He's 7 for 7 this year, stolen bases.
A lot of attention by Presley being paid to his ex-teammate Dozier at the plate. But a pretty good jump and good speed from Bellinger gets him in there.
Pitch bounces in. There's 3-2. Visitors bullpen is quiet for the Astros, so AJ wants Ryan Presley to finish this inning. Swing and a miss. Stassi's going to have to throw down to first, which he does to retire Dozier. So Presley strikes out Dozier to end the 8th. It is 3-2 headed to the 9th.
time for our Get Out and Play presented by Toyota as we take a look back at Game 7, the final out being made in the Fall Classic. Astros winning their first ever World Championship. And AJ Hinch talking about just managing a Game 7, the ultimate in sports. And he said, you know, that day he could not wait to get to the game. He has his lineup written very early. He got his workout in early, just wanted to get to that first pitch. And you might have heard the story a couple days ago, Todd Callis telling it, that he told George Springer as George was leading that game off, and while he was in the on-deck circle, if you score first, George, we're going to win the World Series. And AJ said it felt like 30 seconds later he was running back into the dugout after crossing home plate, telling everyone, AJ told me we're going to win the World Series. We're going to win the World Series. Just exciting times. But he also mentioned, you know, you don't know how you're going to feel when you're handed the commissioner's trophy, and all that happened right here in front of the Astros dugout. And he delivered a speech to all the fans that were here at Dodger Stadium that were behind the Astros dugout, but a moment that he won't remember, as well as many others in this Astros dugout right now, guys.
Yeah, Julie, great memories coming back here to Dodger Stadium, and hopefully the Astros have one more ninth-inning rally against Kenley Jansen in their back pocket, as Tyler White will lead things off, followed by the pinch hitter Evan Gattis and then Max Stassi. Jansen quickly ahead of White, 0-2. Jansen was quickly ahead of Marwin Gonzalez, 0-2 in Game 2 of the World Series. At that point, the Dodgers bullpen was riding 23 consecutive scoreless innings before that game. Astros would get a run in the 8th and a run in the 9th, send that game to extra innings, and continue to do damage against this Dodgers bullpen throughout the rest of that World Series. Tyler White looking for his first hit, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Throws almost exclusively cutters, 85% cutters. Occasional four-seam fastball, occasional slider. That cutter comes in around 92, 93.
There's that curveball.
Yep.
Yeah, the batting average against him is 176 this season. He has been dominant in the regular season. The Astros exposed him in that World Series last year. Left-handers are hitting 196 against him. Right-handers hitting 158, and he's given up 3 home runs to right-handed hitters and 3 home runs to left-handed hitters.
White to center field for a base hit, and the Astros have the tying run on board here in the 9th inning. Tyler White down in the count, 0-2. Battles back for a base hit.
And Todd talked about that cut fastball. That is a cut fastball that breaks away from right-handed hitters. So you see the pitch and you anticipate it being a little bit further off that outside corner. That's why Tyler White is kind of reaching on this pitch. But it hits a great spot of the bat, breaks it, but takes a lot of the exit velocity off of it and drops it over the head of Taylor.
Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis has 1 hit in his career against Kenley Jansen. It is a home run. Down and in for ball 1. Evan pinch hitting for Ryan Presley, who did a nice job with 2 shutout innings out of the bullpen. Gattis hit a home run the first time he ever faced Jansen. Since then, Kenley has won the rest of the battles.
Majority of cut fastballs reminds you of Mariano Rivera for the New York Yankees. That is literally all he threw. He was incredibly successful with it, able to dot that on the inside, outside, up, down, 92 to 94 miles an hour.
The joke through the years was that people were like, I think he's tipping his pitches. Everybody knew the cutter was coming, and they couldn't do a thing with it. Mariano will go into the Hall next year.
It's a bold statement.
Going out on a limb. Well, the relievers don't get a lot of love from the voters.
Well, Trevor Hoffman going in this year with 601 saves. Mariano Rivera, the all-time saves leader. Kind of makes sense that you put things in order and put him in the Hall of Fame.
Swing and a miss by Gaddis, and he's down in the count 1-2. Evan limited in the series against the Dodgers and the Giants. DHing all year. A few innings as a catcher. AJ said he was going to try and find the best spots possible to get Gaddis at bats in these final 5 games of the road trip with National League rules. Evan getting his first crack at the Dodgers here in this series. Pops one up. Pinch sack fly last night, but here he pops one into foul territory, and Muncy puts it away for out number 1.
It's always interesting to hear a manager say he's going to try and put a guy in the best situation in some of these National League games. What that says to me, being an ex-pinch hitter, is he's going to go out and try and get some hits against closers.
Right.
What he may think is best for Evan is actually really best for the Astros.
Right.
It's going to be a tough AB.
The most advantageous spots for the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, Evan will see the toughest pitchers possible, you would think.
But knowing Evan's attitude, too, he appreciates the challenge, and he wants to be a guy that's going to be up in those situations, however tough they are.
Now here's Max Stassi. Stassi has never faced Jansen before. 0 for 2 today. Max was hit by a pitch his last time. Astros have had their share of runners today. Only a 1-2-3 second inning. The base runners in every other inning for Houston. Stassi first pitch swinging, sends one high in the air to center field. Bellinger waits for it and puts it away for out number 2.
That was a pretty good pitch to hit for Max. Just click under it.
So the Astros down to their final out, but it is the guy who hit a home run earlier today, Tony Kemp. Solo home run in the 5th inning. Also has struck out a couple of times. Kemp also facing Jansen for the first time. First pitch back. No Dodger reliever has ever had more saves or strikeouts. Jansen looking for his 31st save of the season, but the Astros still alive, down 1. Down to their final strike as Jansen ahead of the count 0-2. 50,628 today at Dodger Stadium. Many of them stand with 2 strikes and 2 outs. swing and a miss. Kemp goes down swinging, and Jansen picks up save number 31 on the year, preserving a 3-2 victory for the Dodgers. The Astros winning 2 out of 3 in this series. They have won both series so far on this road trip, but they lose the series finale today by the final score of 3-2. We'll have plenty more coming up, including the Astros post-game show right after this.